Hi, this is Pam and welcome to FlowerPatch. I was gone for a week on vacation and come home to iris blooming, weeds growing, and so much going on. Now, I'm going to take you on a tour of the Secret Cottage Garden as we do weekly and just show you what has changed in 10 days because the last one I did was May 5th. This is May 15th. Now everything is not in its proper place as far as potted plants. And that is because I had grouped potted plants into an area while I was gone. We had 80-degree temperatures while we were gone on vacation, and I didn't want anything to die because of course the potted plants wouldn't last in the sun. I moved them to shady spots and everything, and so I would also group them together to make it where the friend who was taking care of it for me, everything, it would be easier for her to water. So that was my attempt anyways. I will take you around the garden as we usually do and see what has changed. Let's see if I can get this in the camera. Here, this side of the garden is where I grouped many of my plants because it gets a little bit of sun in the morning and then shade. My begonias, look at my begonias I started, are doing fantastic. I wanted to do a comparison for you. Is my other begonia over here? Let's see. Let me walk in front of the camera. Oh yes, here it is. This is a couple of begonias I potted up into a larger pot. And then these are the ones that are still in the smaller pots, 4-inch pots. And I really need to get them potted up because they are just going gangbusters. And all of them are growing beautifully. I have more inside that are doing great. It's a little uneven over here, so I'm wobbly around, but I'm so excited about those. And I'll have plenty for my shady spots around. I don't have very many shady spots, but thrilled with those begonias. And they're a pink and white mix, so they ought to be just gorgeous. So let's move over this way a little bit. I had planted up my hay rack. Let me move over there for you. Be careful because I planted a bunch of things in here and I'm not sure still where they are. Oh, okay. So this hay rack I planted in, and it looks like everything's doing good. This pack of petunias I had let get too dried out, so even when I put them in here, they were struggling. Bad me. But now it looks like they're recuperating. I need to cut back some things. I did get my viburnum planted over there. This wire cage, I planted seeds of white swan echinacea, and I was hoping it would come up in place. I also have starts in the greenhouse that are going. My little fountain is doing a-okay over here. I put the other one away. Oh, it's in the greenhouse. I need to bring it out here. It was spraying so much overspray that it was running out and it was causing that to empty too much. And I didn't want that to happen while I was gone and not here to refill the bucket. Well, so some irises back here are budding up. The yellow ones are real pretty. Let me get closer for you. These foxgloves here, they're kind of going to be blocking some view of this, but I couldn't yank them out. They were so big and beautiful. They'll bloom and then I'll cut them and take them out. And so I'm going to let those bloom this year. Everything behind it is kind of young anyway, so it wouldn't fill out until later. So it's okay that I'm letting them block the view of what's behind it for just the spring. And you're kind of getting a glimpse over there of some of my irises. Everything in the centerpiece is doing well. I haven't got my pathways in yet. That's still a work in progress, my new pathways. And I haven't pulled up the stepping stones that are in here to make way for the new pathways. Just let me move my camera here. Alrighty then. I'm trying to do this fast so I don't bore you to death with stuff, but look at these irises. Aren't they doing gorgeous? There's just a big old patch of them. I have more coming up right over there. I had moved this rose. It was right there in between these two irises. I wanted it to kind of shade the galvanized tub of lettuce I had planted, and I'm going to bring you up close to see that, how well that is doing. Over here is a pretty iris getting ready to bloom. It's a yellow one, kind of like the yellow one over there. I'm not sure if it's the same iris. We'll see when it blooms. This area here, I'm not exactly sure. I think I'm going to do some low growing plants here. I do have a daisy in here. I'm not sure if that's my Aglaia daisy. It might be. I need to start writing things down. I keep forgetting. The purple rooster Bernarda, I was going to pull a little bit more of it out, and I still will. I'm going to chop it down in a week or two, and that'll force it to bloom a little bit shorter and not get quite as tall as it usually does. I have some more of it back there. Monarda is one of those plants. It's also called bee balm. That is an excellent pollinator, attractant as well as a food for pollinators. You know, many of the newer hybrids you get of things don't have as fertile of flowers, therefore it does not produce as much nectar, pollen, etc. for the pollinators. So just note, work in some older varieties of things that may not bloom as long, or etc., because they have the fertile flowers. You want the fertile flowers for the pollinators. And this is my Olivia Austin rose here, full of buds. My grandmother's hat has bloomed and gone. I didn't even get to see it bloom. It bloomed the week I was gone. But I'll chop it back and it will rebloom. I already see some more buds coming up on it. So that will be a treat. Behind me is another beautiful iris getting ready to bloom. I had my friend call me, who is actually like a zone higher than me, and it's warmer at her house. And she told me that her iris were all in full bloom, and I'm going to call her back. She called while I was gone, and see if I can go take a tour of her garden. Anyways, delphiniums are doing beautiful. Hollyhock back there is doing gorgeous. My pink Eden, pretty in pink Eden back there is doing beautiful. Has buds all over it. I was taking a chance putting it in the ground because of the gophers, and I'm hoping they leave it alone. I have the castor oil mix that I can put down that will kind of discourage them. I'm sorry if I'm kind of winking into the camera because it's bright out here. Maybe I should have put on my sunglasses. And I'm trying the globe thistle plant flowers. My neighbor has some, and I got some seeds from them. And I started a whole bunch. I didn't get all of them in the ground, but as long as I get one, I can get more because they seed really, really easy. One thing I don't see coming up yet is Cleome. I have not been successful in getting it to come back by itself from seed. We have such a short growing season. They like it really hot. And I do love it because it blooms beautifully during the hottest part of the summer and into fall. So when everything else is kind of giving up the ghost, it's still performing and doing beautiful. So I did start some from seed. Hopefully it made it. I haven't checked that selection of seed yet. So let's keep on moving. There's a beautiful iris just over there. Let me come get the camera and show you. Let me see if it'll focus in. The light is so bright on it that it's kind of washing it out. Maybe I should do this tomorrow morning when the light's not hitting yet. Let's take you down here really quick. Let the camera. This is where I planted a bunch of new stuff. This is limelight nicotiana or nicotiana, pronounced either way. That produces a pretty lime colored flower. This is something I got at Annie's Annuals. This is Venus. Let me look. Venus navelwort. And it has these really pretty little white flowers. I hope it spreads from seed because it's just really dainty. Down here is a sedum pachyphyllum. Whatever it didn't have a generic name. Over here is that Bill Wallace geranium I planted, and it is supposed to spread by seed, so I'm hoping it does. It is a real pretty bloomer, these pretty little bright blue flowers, and it's supposed to continually bloom. I've been pulling up weeds already. I have a bunch of little morning glories that came up that I don't want them over here, so I was pulling them up, and that's a California poppy. I've got a bazillion of them here too, so I just pull up a few to thin them out because they will choke out everything else. Let's see, what else did I plant in here? Oh, I have the two of the, they're not rose campion. They're a white with a pink center, but it's the same family. And it's that something Campion oculata, I think it's called. And I have a butterfly. Well, I call them butterfly plants. Let me see. That is a pink Piketty stratosphere gara. Yeah, and it's really pretty. Here is that beautiful iris. It's white with the lavender edging and the orange yellow tongue. Just gorgeous. Orange yellow beard, whatever you want to call them. But it's just doing beautiful. Look at these iris over here. They're going to start. They are just going to be full. They are probably going to start opening up in this next week. So my next video of back here is just going to be full of iris. I can't wait. I can't wait. Now it looks like, let's the camera adjust to the dimness. Yeah, there it goes. My Colette rose, it looks like that 80-degree temperature has kind of zapped it a little bit. You know, we went from freezing cold to very warm super quickly. So I think it's just catching up. But I'll come in here and I'll deadhead it. I gotta be careful not to step on anything I got planted in here. Yeah, these ones are budding up. Yeah, but I've got a lot to deadhead. And it looks like a bunch more are coming on. So I think I'm gonna be really happy with this rose. I put a sweet pea in here with it. I need to put a little trellis in here to let it climb up. I often use those tomato cages and turn them upside down and put a flower pot on top of them for the supports for those. The delphiniums behind them are just filling in. This one I think is a lavender or a pink one. Anyways, I also have some poppies that are coming back. I'm hoping it's my pink ones. My red, I didn't want red in here. So if it's red, I'll pull them out. If it's pink, I'll let them stay and go to seed. But down along there, underneath that bench, I've just let everything come up. I've got larkspur like crazy. I have several of my succulents under there, my hens and chicks. And they're doing okay, even though they get a little bit too much water under there from the fountain. I need to see if that fountain's okay and not full of mosquito larvae. Oh, it looks okay. I probably need to empty it. The bear came and got my feeder and dumped all the seed into that. So, oh, and I see my iceberg rose is about to bloom. Okay, let me come around to the camera. All right, I wanted to share this sedum. It's one of my favorites. I think it's called Cherry Parfait or something like that, but it just takes on this beautiful purple glow. It's easy to divide. I have it in different containers. It lives through the winter very well, and it's just beautiful. I love it. And it doesn't get carried away. It doesn't spread very fast or very far unless you divide it yourself. I'll take it around here too. These are some other sedums. One is tricolor, and the other one I think is lime zinger. And these ones do have a tendency to spread more, though I try to contain them with edging, etc. And if it goes in an area I don't want, I just pull it up and we're all good. But it makes a wonderful drought-tolerant ground cover in warm areas. Well, the sun's going behind a cloud again, which is okay. Over here's the veggie garden. I have a hose wheeled up right now. That's going to come out of there. And look at some of these. This is the same iris. It's over in the corner of the Secret Garden. I had extras and I put them out here. They seem to love this spot. So I think along this block wall back here is a perfect place to put any extra iris I have, or maybe more new colors I'm getting. Okay, I did plant a pepper in this bed here. I'm not sure what I want to put in that bed. I could do zucchini, I could do my cucumbers. I'm kind of up in the air between the two beds in the ground because it seems like the gophers don't eat my tomatoes. I have an early girl tomato that I risked putting out. This next weekend would be the weekend that is traditionally our last frost date. But this whole month I probably could have put these out here, my tomatoes out, because it's just stayed so warm. Soil's warmed up, I can get them out. We are going to get a little bit of cool down this week. I will get some cool nights, but all I will do is put 1-gallon jugs out full of water during the day. They will heat up, release heat at night. I can put a tomato cage around them and put some frost cloth over it. Okay, so this bed here still just has the crimson clover in it. That I will also decide what to plant in there as far as my crops. The bed to the far right, behind the blueberries. Let me get over there to talk to you. I don't have anything in here. These are all volunteers yet. I did plant a clematis back there that I want to climb up this fence and cover it. It's doing great. That was one of my, I think that's multi-blue, one of the ones I got from Costco, Longfield Gardens. Yeah, that's one of them I had potted up for you. I have some sugar snap peas back here, and I planted more lettuce that I had started in an old lettuce container, actually. You know those heads of lettuce you get that I had poked holes in the bottom, used the top as the greenhouse top part, and started some from seeds, and they all came up, and I just plopped plugs all out in here. This is the one I started in fall, and I've been picking from it. My friend who took care of my garden was picking from it while I was gone. And even though we got some pretty hot temps, it's been doing, I mean, there's little pieces that got a little sunburnt, but it's doing good. I picked a whole salad off of it last night, and these are all coming up great. We'll provide more salad as well as my tub that I have up there. So we've got plenty of salad. Here, this back here, you can't really see it, but right back here is a dahlia. I started from seed. I had some old seed, thought I'd give them a try, and I had 3 make it. Several germinated, but not all made it. But that is one of them. And the others I planted out in other areas didn't make it, but this one did. So that one's going to be a prize. In this bed has the hardware cloth underneath, and that's just a wire mesh that people use like for rabbit cages, etc. And I cut it to fit underneath this bed so the gophers can't come up and eat anything in this bed. I have another one beside the house. It's a larger bed with the not frost cloth, but the hardware cloth underneath. And that's where I'm going to plant my dahlias this year so the gophers don't eat them. So I could put dahlias in here too. I also have another idea for planting some dahlias in my secret garden, and I'm going to give that a whirl. And I think it'll work. It involves rocks that we got off of our rock wall. Let me get up here. Yeah. Okay, my blueberries are coming along. I need to weed in there because it looks like weeds are coming up, and I just now put a geranium in a pot out here. But that's the veggie garden. The strawberries are blooming and producing berries. I should have cut the blooms off. Right here, I should have cut the blooms off because they say they do better. The plants do better, but I was gone, and now they got little berries on them. I'm going to leave them be. It may take another season for them to get going, but we'll see. These are supposed to be the everbearing, so we'll see how they work. This is the tub I had on top of some stuff in the other bed. And that's it so far out here. I haven't got any more. I couldn't plant fresh plant stuff right before we left. Now that I'm back, I'm going to start my squash, cucumbers, put out more tomatoes I have, and that'll pretty be much it out here. I don't know if I'm going to do beets. Last year I tried to do beets. I didn't do very good, so I don't know if it was the soil or what, but I'll see what else I'm going to plant, but I'll share that later. So over here is the greenhouse. You've noticed most of the pots have been moved. I had to move those to an area that was easier to water for them. I kind of like the cleaned up area. I'm going to show you something. I have right down here at the base, I dumped out a packet of seeds that I didn't think was viable because I couldn't get them to sprout inside. But all of this is dill. Tons of dill. And some, I do have some cosmos that started here. That tells me I can plant a lot of things, a lot of seeds out that are normally warm weather lovers because the cosmos has come up. That was from last year. I had some cosmos in here. They reseeded themselves. They were white and dark pink. We'll see what I get because I'll let these go. But I wanted the dill I have butterflies. If you'll note, in the beginning of this video, I had a swallowtail butterfly flitting around, which I didn't notice while I was videoing, but when I was editing, I did. And that's for their larvae. I want more. I used to have a bazillion of those butterflies in my garden, and the last couple of years I haven't noticed very many, so I was a little worried. I also am trying to start some milkweed. I've been unsuccessful growing milkweed, but I really want to try because I want to have butterflies, monarchs, lay eggs here. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this quick little tour of the secret garden, and it's beginning to bloom this mid-May of 2021. And everything that's going on. I think I touched on everything for you. All right, I will see you in the next video.